it's Kim with Guide to the Good, and today we are doing something really special. We're with Dr. Frances Scully. She's the founder of Be Compassionate NL, and she is going to tell us a lot of things about the whole compassion matters, all the matters to do with compassion. So tell us about Be Compassionate NL first, I guess.
Okay, well, right now Be Compassionate NL I've set up as a small business to have a mechanism to teach the Compassion Cultivation Training meditation course that I became certified to teach in 2020.
Right.
But I'm not sure if that's the best model. I'm thinking maybe it should be a co-op. Anyway, I don't know.
Maybe there's somebody out there with a co-op,
I don't have much of a business background, but anyway, there you go. Yeah.
But so the Compassion Cultivation Training, it's a wonderful program, and compassion as an effort helps people in so many ways. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think what we now know from neuroscience, and this is part of all human traditions, is that actually we human beings are born with a tremendous capacity to care. And actually when everything works in a healthy way, our caring is very good for us in terms of our health and well-being.
Right.
And so the first thing is care, and then that kind of goes into kindness and compassion. So kindness is defined, for some things people do research, and when you're doing research you have very specific definitions. Right. Because there is obviously overlap in all these things, right? But yeah. When people are researching it, kindness is, the desire for things to go well, and compassion is the desire to reduce suffering.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So those things, being kind and being compassionate / reducing suffering, are things that we can cultivate. We can learn to do ourselves.
Yes.
And that's you can learn it through your program.
Yes. So, but my program isn't the only way. Like, there are lots of compassionate and kind people around.
Right.
This program was developed in 2009 at Stanford Medical School at the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education. So for people who like science and research, there's lots of information there.
Right.
Anyway, it was developed because we know that at this time there's a big crisis for people who work sort of on the front lines, meaning emergency workers, healthcare professionals, teachers, police, there's all sorts of other people,
I can't
all
think of all the now in COVID.
But all the people who work on the front lines, sort of trying to help other people, if you like, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people there's a term some people use called burnout.
Yep.
And some people talk about compassion fatigue.
Right.
And so this course was developed to try to combine very ancient traditions. So the traditional part of the course comes from Tibetan Buddhism, but one does not have to, and a lot of people involved are Tibetan Buddhists, but one does not have to be Tibetan or Buddhist to take this course. It's a secular course, but those practices and trainings have been taken and then researched by neuroscientists and made into a course.
Right. Awesome. So it would help with all aspects of your life. So frontline worker, obviously, but if you're a parent.
Yes. So cultivating kindness and compassion has been shown to be very good for our health and well-being.
Right.
What is, I think, tricky is I think many of us perhaps have, so people talk a lot about empathy, and again, some people define empathy as having 3 layers to it: cognitive, emotional, and then compassionate empathy. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's very interesting, and it's something you learn more about, I guess, in the program.
Well, that's not directly part of the program, but the thing is that a lot of people talk about empathy. So empathy, it comes from a German word, sort of trying to feel what another person or being, could be an animal or whatever, is feeling, right?
Right.
And we talk a lot about empathy and caring, but empathy is sort of a bit like electricity. Like it can be positive or negative.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow.
Right? So empathy per se, like just knowing what somebody feels will not necessarily make us feel good, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where I think so many of us, and I'm very much including myself in this, but so many of us kind of got stuck because we perhaps do care, we do care, and then we wanted to help, but perhaps when we're dealing with other people or animals or whatever who are suffering a lot, that's painful.
Right.
And particularly if we have a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
So particularly in the parenting or within people we love, when somebody we love is suffering, and we have empathy for them, we can feel their suffering. Some people even will get, somatic empathy. They'll get
in the body,
they'll feel pain, and so when we're feeling, I've definitely had these experiences myself, and it's very unpleasant, and it actually so that sort of very tight emotional empathy. Now, it may be okay for a parent or in some very close relationships, but in general, it's not actually very good for us, and it doesn't really help the person suffering either. So, empathy. Some people use the term toxic empathy.
Right.
So
yeah. So the program that you're delivering, that you did training for through Stanford, is called Compassion Cultivation Training. You can do it online.
Yes. So originally when I started training, I'm not very techy, so I wasn't planning to be doing this online, and I was learning a lot of new things. So it is a group course.
Right.
So the numbers are 10 to 28 people.
Right.
And that's important because a lot of it is interactive and experiential.
Right.
So even though there's a core curriculum, every single time I teach the course, it's a new course because it depends on who joins that course.
Right. Absolutely. And so you have a new course starting fairly soon, I believe.
Yes, I'll be starting again towards the end of April. So the course is taught in over 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Yeah.
With 7 steps taught over 8 weeks.
Right. And
it's a meditation course, so that's very important. So there are lots of ways to develop compassion. Meditation is not the only way.
Right.
But this way of cultivating compassion through meditation in a group has been studied and has been found to help in lots of ways.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So it's starting at the end of April. Now we'll have the dates connected to your profile on Guide to the Good, because Be Compassionate Animal is a guide to the good member, and you can be anywhere in Newfoundland, in Canada, or in the world and take this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I also post the materials on something called Mighty Network,
right,
which is a platform which hopefully is cyber safe. So whoever signs up, like I don't share their emails with anybody else.
Yeah.
The Be Compassionate NL Mighty Network generally is free, but these materials are under copyright, so they're not mine. I'm allowed to use them to teach.
Yes, because you've been trained and authorized to use them.
Yeah. So that's why I use the Mighty Network. I open it up when people are going through the course, and then I close it down afterwards. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Well, that is wonderful, and it's an 8-week program.
2 hours per week.
2 hours per week, and people can register online through the link on your website.
Yeah.
They can be anywhere in the world, and it will help them. Well, in one sentence, what will it help? How will it help them?
I think what people tell me most out of it
Yeah.
is that a lot of us feel at times a bit isolated.
Yeah.
We're concerned about stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Huge stuff like
Yeah.
the war in Ukraine and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And we're like, what can I do about it? So there's a lot of like really big things that are heavy with suffering
Yeah.
happening, particularly in the last 2 years. There's a whole list of them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all have our own things happening with, family and friends and all those things. So a lot of people can feel overwhelmed. They feel I can't do anything about this, and they also can feel, and people unconsciously feel, they've got to be doing something on their own. So what a lot of people find is they realize, I don't have to do all this myself. This is being caring is part of human nature, and there are lots. There's hundreds of millions and billions of people, and many of them, they use different ways of doing it, but they are cultivating kindness and compassion, and they're contributing.
Right.
So I think that is what some people say. Oh, I realize, it's not all up to me.
Yeah.
So
and you connected and empowered.
yeah. So we're and people do really through the course make a connection, because some people are coming back and either drop in again, or I have set up a group on the Mighty Network if people want to be in touch with each other and so on.
Right. So
But it
it's
is
ongoing.
so that's what I'd say. And for some people who are have health issues and are shut in or something, then they've really enjoyed the course.
Right.
And because it's we take our time, and there's it's interactive, so there's a social element, and people do. And the other thing is that we know that meditating together helps people connect, which sounds, if you haven't ever done it, it sounds really weird, but it actually does happen.
Right.
So, and people are amazed that it's happening, and they look forward to it, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us here today. It's been a pleasure to help share the story of Be Compassionate NL and Compassion Cultivation Training. I'm Kim Todd. This is Guide to the Good. Dr. Frances Scully, Be Compassionate NL. Check it all out on www.guidetothegood.ca. Lots of links to Frances's amazing things. And that's it. Have a good day.